If you cannot get control of yourself, do not try to get rich. It makes no sense to invest, make money, and blow it. It is the lack of self-discipline that causes most lottery winners to go broke soon after winning millions. Okay, hope everybody's been having a good day so far. Did you have a good weekend? Well, let's get into some reading. We are doing a Rich Dad Poor Dad. We are quite far in. We are chapter 8, and we were going through the 5 things, or the number of things to get started, and we're at number 5. Let's get into it. Let's start the week really, really well. If you cannot get control of yourself, do not try to get rich. It makes no sense to invest, make money, and blow it. It is the lack of self-discipline that causes most lottery winners to go broke soon after winning millions. It is the lack of discipline that causes people who get a raise to immediately go out and buy a new car or take a cruise. It is difficult to say which of the 10 steps is the most important, but of all the steps, this step is probably the most difficult to master if it's not already a part of your makeup. I would venture to say that personal self-discipline is the number one delineating factor between the rich and poor and the middle class. Simply put, people who have a low self-esteem and low tolerance for financial pressure can never be rich. As I have said, a lesson learned from my rich dad was that the world will push you around. The world pushes people around not because other people are bullies, but because the individual lacks internal control and discipline. People who lack internal fortitude often become victims of those who have self-discipline. In the entrepreneur classes I teach, I constantly remind people to not focus on their product, service, or widget, but to focus on developing management skills. The 3 most important management skills necessary to start your own business are management of cash flow, people, and personal time. I would say the skills to manage these 3 applies to anything, not just entrepreneurs. The 3 matter in the way you live your life as an individual, or as part of a family, a business, a charitable organization, a city, or a nation. Each of these skills is enhanced by the mastery of self-discipline. I do not take the saying, pay yourself first, lightly. The statement, pay yourself first, comes from George Clason's book, The Richest Man in Babylon. Millions of copies have been sold. But while millions of people freely repeat that powerful statement, few follow the advice. As I said, financial literacy allows one to read numbers, and numbers tell the story. By looking at a person's income statement and balance sheet, I can readily see if people who sprout the words pay yourself first actually practice what they preach. A picture is worth 1,000 words, so let's review the financial statements of people who pay themselves first against somebody who doesn't. Study the diagrams and see if you can pick up some distinctions. Again, it has to do with understanding cash flow, which tells the story. Most people look at the numbers and miss the story. So the example goes that you have your job and it goes into your income. And then instead of paying your expenses, it goes to the assets where you save or invest. And then it goes to the expenses. And then the expenses are paid after you have paid yourself what you need to pay yourself first. Do you see it? The diagram reflects the actions of individuals who choose to pay themselves first. Each month, they allocate money to their asset column before they pay their monthly expenses. Although millions of people have read Clason's book and understand the words, pay yourself first, in reality, they pay themselves last. Now, I can hear the howls from those of you who sincerely believe in paying your bills first. And I can hear all the responsible people who pay their bills on time. I'm not saying be irresponsible and not pay your bills. All I'm saying is do what the book says, which is pay yourself first. And the previous diagram is the correct accounting picture of that action. Now, I'm going to quickly add that, yes, you do need to pay your bills, but if you pay yourself first and there is not enough money left over to be able to pay everybody else, the tax man and your suppliers if you have a business, or your car expenses or your mortgage or all of those other things that you might be paying for, then it is going to stretch you. It's going to help you to grow as a person and to become better so that you can earn more money. It will stretch you to be able to do various different things. if you are always paying everybody else first and not paying yourself first, then you live in this comfort zone of, I have enough money, I don't have to do it. I remember when I first started paying myself first, I would put the money across, and I was not able to pay all of my other expenses. And it did not bother me that much. So I knew that deep inside I could feel an energy to be able to make more, because I knew that I needed more because I didn't have enough. If I would have just kept paying my expenses, I wouldn't have felt as if there was any crisis, there was any need for any additional focus, that I had no pressure. And so that pressure was actually helpful to help me earn more money. So you can use this to your advantage. If you're earning just enough to be able to pay everything that you can pay right now, then start paying yourself first. And yes, it will be uncomfortable at the beginning, but you will start to see that opportunities pop up, or different things will happen, or you might be able to get a second job, or you might be able to do all these different other things. So just pay yourself first, and then just watch what happens and look for those opportunities, because they will automatically be there. If you can truly begin to understand the power of cash flow, you will soon realize what is wrong with the previous diagram. So in this one, it has income, goes to expenses, and goes straight back out. It doesn't touch the balance sheet. There are no assets. There are no liabilities. Which is what we were just talking about, the fact that you stay in your comfort zone and you can only pay your expenses, and you do not have the ability to do anything else. You feel trapped. You feel stuck. It is a terrible feeling when you can't expand yourself. As humans, we are meant to expand. We're meant to grow. And when we're growing, we feel good and we attract more good things. When we are not feeling good, so if we are spending all of our money by the end of the month, or we are extremely short, or we're feeling that we're in debt, all of those things are not good. So you want to outsource your debt, make sure that somebody else is looking after that, taking the phone calls. And I recommend a lot of people go to My Budget, for example, because they are a great service that's going to help you clean up your finances. Keep an eye on it. I don't have any affiliation with My Budget, but I do know that they do absolutely amazing work, and actually still use them to pay everything for me, because I just find that it's so much easier to get somebody else to make all of those payments. They know exactly what needs to be paid, and they just pay it for me. And what else was I going to say about that? Not that much. That's all good. So Kim and I have had bookkeepers, accountants, and bankers who have had a major problem with this way of looking at pay yourself first. The reason that these financial professionals actually do what the masses do, they pay themselves last, even though they are the ones who should be teaching us to pay ourselves first. But they also fall within the trap of following the masses and doing what everybody else does. There have been times in my life when, for whatever reason, cash flow was far less than my bills. I still paid myself first. My accountant and bookkeeper screamed in panic. They're going to come after you. The IRS is going to put you in jail. You're going to ruin your credit rating. They'll cut off your electricity. I still paid myself first. You need to be so disciplined. If you want to be successful in life, if you want to achieve anything, you have to follow your rules and do what you know that you need to do for you. Don't just do what everybody else is doing, or just because you're being told you have to do it. If it's not good for you, just because somebody in authority is telling you to do it doesn't mean that it is going to be good for you. So you don't just do what anybody tells you to. You can always find a way around it later, but pay yourself first, and then find other means and ways to be able to pay the IRS, or the tax department as it's called here. But always make sure that you stay disciplined and you pay yourself first, and you will start to see miracles happen automatically. You will start to see that life will look after things for you. But you have to have that faith to be able to take that first step, and then you have to stay disciplined even when it is hard, even when things aren't going the way you think they will. Why, you ask? Because that's what the story, The Richest Man in Babylon, was all about. The power of self-discipline and the power of internal fortitude. As my rich dad taught me the first month I worked for him, most people allow the world to push them around. A bill collector calls and you pay or else. A clerk says, oh, just put it on your charge card. Your real estate tells you, go ahead. The government allows you a tax deduction on your home. That is what the book is really about, having the guts to go against the tide and get rich. You may not be weak, but when it comes to money, many people get wimpy. And that is absolutely the case. So you have all of these people. They are looking after themselves because they want to make that real estate sale to you. The tax department wants their money. Everybody is looking after themselves. So by you going out and just giving to everybody else, you are literally looking after them and saying, I don't care about myself. So it's very important to make sure that you are always looking after yourself first, because everybody else will put themselves first. But if you don't put yourself first, then they are going to be able to do it, and they are going to use you and abuse you, which is not good. I'm not saying be irresponsible. The reason I don't have high credit card debt and doodad debt is because I pay myself first. The reason I minimize my income is because I don't want to pay it to the government. That is why my income comes from my asset column through a Nevada corporation. If I work for money, the government takes it. Although I pay my bills last, I am financially astute enough to not get into tough financial situations. I don't like consumer debt. I actually have liabilities there that are higher than 99% of the population, but I don't pay for them. Other people pay for my liabilities. They're called tenants. So rule number one is paying yourself first. Don't get into consumer debt in the first place. Although I pay my bills last, I've set it up to have only small, unimportant bills that are due. So when you start this process of paying yourself first, yes, it might be challenging at the start, but that is when that discipline will kick in and allow you to make other disciplined decisions. So if you're always undisciplined in every area of your life, then there's no reason to change. When you start adding discipline in one small area of your life, and it doesn't even have to start with your finances. If you put on your running shoes while you're watching TV, eventually you'll start running. If you eat slightly differently, then it is going to change your discipline level, and you will be able to be disciplined in other areas as well. So then you can start becoming disciplined in your financial area. And as you become disciplined, you're going to see that it has a knock-on effect, and it will allow you to be able to be disciplined more easily in more areas of your life. And literally, you will start to see the changes that will happen. And when you see those changes happen, then obviously you're going to be able to start cleaning up your financial mess if you have a financial mess. So just start being disciplined on one small area. So one thing that you can do, rather than paying yourself, I don't know, some people like to pay themselves 10%. So rather than paying yourself 10%, start off by paying yourself even just 50 cents. So have an automatic transfer go from your account. As soon as your money comes in from your salary, transfer 50 cents. Even such a small amount is going to tell the brain that you are now a disciplined person and that you are transferring 50 cents. It doesn't matter what the amount is. Your brain doesn't care about the amount. Your brain just cares about the fact that you are now disciplined. Then you can start looking at, okay, next week I'm going to do $1. Then you can do $1.50. Then you might start to see that you're actually earning a little bit more. Maybe that raise comes through. Maybe you find another opportunity. Maybe you find a job that pays a little bit more. Now you can say, okay, I'm going to start putting $50 per week because I've increased my income. Rather than spending it all on other things, I'm going to now take that extra 50 and I'm going to put it into my assets. I'm going to start saving it. I'm going to pay myself first. And so little steps by little steps, you get to the point where you're going to be able to clean up that financial mess that you have. So it's about showing yourself that you have that discipline, getting that discipline started even on the smallest of scales, and you will start to see that you can multiply and become more disciplined in multiple areas. You just need to take that first step at some point, and once you go draw that line in the sand, then you're able to get the ball rolling, and literally you will start to see miracles happen, and that it's possible to create different outcomes to what you might be used to. When I occasionally come up short, I still pay myself first. I let the creditors and even the government scream. I like it when they get tough. Why? because these guys do me a favor. They inspire me to go out and create more money. So I pay myself first, invest the money, and let the creditors yell. I generally pay them right away anyway. Kim and I have excellent credit. We just don't cave into pressure and spend our savings or liquidate stocks to pay for consumer debt. That is not too financially intelligent. So yes, when you do have your assets, you don't want to sell them in order to be able to hand it to the government screaming or whoever else is screaming. You want to make sure that you hold on to those and you just look for other ways to be able to make some money. Now, eventually, as I said, you're going to get better at this and you will eventually increase your financial savvy. So you're going to start off with discipline. As you get disciplined, you start to understand finances more and you're going to start seeing more ways to make money. And once you've done that, you go through this whole process of getting better and better with money. So you clean up the financial mess, you start to get the right people around you, you start getting better at it. And it's just this progressive scale of, yes, I might be in despair. I make one choice, one small little choice to pay myself first. It might be just 50 cents per week. And then from that 50 cents, it might become 50 cents a day, $1 a day. And it keeps growing and growing. And then you start building that asset column. You start feeling different. You start thinking, wow, look at my amount of money. And if you're in a financial mess, when you have $20, $30, $40, $50 saved, you're going to feel amazing compared to how you felt before. The credit card bills will still be there. Just ignore those for the moment. You need to build up that discipline. And then you'll start to see that there are ways to make some more money. You're already paying off what you were paying off before anyway. The extra dollar is not going to make much of a difference. So you keep saving that $1. And then after a certain amount of time, you'll start to feel different because you've now started to see that money accumulating. And once you do that, you can then clean up that financial mess because now you might be earning a little bit more. So you can put a little bit extra towards that credit card. You're still saving. You might also save a little bit more. So you're saving and paying off some of that credit card at the same time. Don't worry about what if I take that savings and put it straight into the credit card. You need to keep saving to keep that mindset. I have savings, and then the credit card, you can add extra payments. So it is also going down a little bit faster than it was previously. And by doing that, you keep the mind strong and you can do it in a different way. That's going to be very, very beneficial. Okay, we're going to leave it at that for today. That was another really good lesson. If you enjoyed that, and if you'd like to see more videos of me reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, and you can also start from the beginning, you can go to the YouTube, which is at The Passive Cash Flow Club. You'll be able to find all the videos. We also have other videos going up. I'm going to be making some more videos later today and on Wednesdays. I'm going to be making lots of videos. So keep an eye out for that. So if you hit the subscribe button when you are there, then you will be able to get the notifications when we put a new video. And I'm going and having a talk to everybody at the Cash Flow Club to get their ideas for topics that we want to discuss. Mladen, who's on the Zoom, has already given me some, so I'm going to use those as well. And now I just need to go out and create them. So you'll be able to find those there. There'll be new ones coming up that will answer the kinds of questions that you might have around finances that will really benefit you to be able to go from wherever you are right now to achieving the life of your dreams, which is the whole point and what we're really excited about. If you are interested in cash flow and if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can do that on Instagram. So you can go to business_team_6_official and you will be able to find what I have been up to, because you'll see the updates on Instagram. You'll be able to reach out to me. And if you mention cash flow, I'll get my VA, my virtual assistant, to get in touch with you, and they will then let you know the details of how and where and when we are playing. And that game also will change your life because, again, it works on your brain and it tricks you into thinking that you're already doing things that you are not currently doing. And there's a lot of science behind this. And I probably don't have the time to go into it right now, but it will allow your brain to actually look for opportunities and help you out and help you get to your goal, as opposed to sabotage you, which is what happens when you just live life without all of these assistants and like little techniques. So I'm going to leave you to it. If you want to see the videos, go to the Passive Cash Flow Club on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe. And if you'd be interested in cash flow, make sure you go to Instagram, business_team_6_official. You'll be able to find me there. Get in touch. Let me know you'd like to know more about cash flow. Watch some videos that are going to answer your questions with regards to finance that are going to get you from where you are now to the next step. And feel free to also send me your messages with what your questions are around finances. What are you struggling with? What kinds of things do you want to know about? Do you want to know how to get started in real estate, how to get started in the stock market, what certain terminology is, whether you should get a credit card or not? Let me know what kinds of questions you have, where you're stuck, and what I can answer for you so that you can start moving forward. Hopefully today's video has already been a big part of that, because pay yourself first, that mentality is amazing for being able to do that. So have a great day today. I will see you all soon. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's reading, Sydney time, 8 a.m. We'll do some more Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And remember that you can live an amazing life if you make some small changes. So go out and make decisions that are going to impact your life in a big way, and you will achieve the life of your dreams.